your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Heal our streets.
Welcome back to day 19 of the Great Commission Challenge. Today we're going to talk about finding an approach that fits you. It's amazing that there are many different characters in the Bible that brought people to Jesus, and they took different approaches or styles to communicate their faith with others. There's one thing to know, that there is no one right way of leading people into a relationship with Jesus Christ. And the good news is that you can just be yourself. And so over the next 3 days, we are going to explore 6 biblical styles of evangelism. We're going to explore 2 per day. The first one that we're going to discuss is Peter's confrontational approach. You know, Peter was a ready, fire, aim kind of guy. You know, whatever he did it unhesitantly and with full force. You know, when Jesus asked the disciples in Matthew chapter 16, verse 15, who they thought he was, Peter didn't hesitate. His words, he declared flat out that Jesus was the Messiah. And then a few verses later, he challenged Jesus' mission statement head on. Can you imagine trying to correct Jesus? I mean, challenging the actual Son of God? Yeah, it's hard to believe. But when Peter was in a fishing boat and he wanted to be with Jesus, he didn't hesitate to do whatever he could to get close to him, even if it meant walking on water. Remember when the enemies came to take Jesus away, Peter was the guy that was ready to cut off their heads. And all Peter needed was to be convinced that he was right, and there was almost no stopping him. He was direct, he was bold, and he was right to the point. Is it any wonder that God chose him as the spokesman on the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2? It was a perfect fit. God needed someone unafraid to take a stand. And some people are just waiting for a Christian who won't beat around the bush and who will clarify the truth of Christ and challenge them to do something about it. Could that Christian be you? Also, the second biblical style that we're going to be looking at here today is Paul's intellectual approach. Now, although Paul certainly could confront people with the truth when necessary, the hallmark of his approach was his logical and reasoned presentation of the gospel message. You know, read any of the letters he wrote, especially Romans. It's probably the best example. And you'll see how he was a master at laying out a sound explanation of the central truths about God's nature and our sin and Christ's solution. Can you think of a better person for God to send to the philosophers in Athens in Acts chapter 17? Perhaps you're a Paul. Is the intellectual approach one that fits you? Are you the inquisitive type who enjoys working with ideas and evidences? If this is you, I would challenge you to do some studying and maybe study Christian apologetics. These are great ways to sharpen your intellectual skills. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully, maybe you resonated with one of these styles. If you didn't, come back tomorrow for 2 more styles. I know one of them will fit you.
Build your